Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be, I think, the favorite Protoss bot, Sharkbot. And taking on Sharkbot, it's going to be VeTerran, a bot that I've definitely cast a lot in the past couple videos. But here's one more. It's going to be VeTerran, kind of the scrapper, taking on the turtle toss, which Sharkbot definitely is. There is no questions about that. And so we're going to see how well VeTerran can do, whether it can get some damage against Sharkbot and then potentially play out a late game, or whether it will fail to get damage done. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Let's go for 17 likes on this video, seeing as how there's 17 workers. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That subscribe button is around here somewhere. You can click that bell to get notified whenever I put up a new video, a new post, that kind of thing. And leave a comment down below saying more bots, or better yet, if you are currently employed, let me know what you do, as I'm currently considering changing careers or something like that. So I like to hear what other people do for work. Now, looks like VeTerran's having a hard time with this probe harassment. It's actually having a very difficult time, as 3 SCVs somehow got trapped outside of this wall, and I guess it's not lowering the depot due to the presence of this probe. So this one probe is actually denying like 3 SCVs mining. Looks like this Marine will push that probe away so the SCVs can come inside, but I did not expect that to happen. I guess, yeah, the SCVs maybe went outside to get the probe and then the depot got raised. And so very effective probe harassment from Sharkbot. So actually a good delay on the economy of VeTerran right out the gate. We're on the map Hard Lead. So a bit of room for both these bots to expand. 7 bases on each side. Factory now on the way for VeTerran. It is one basing it, but it generally does get up an expansion relatively soon. This Marine is chasing this probe around like mad. Looks like it may get it unless there's a recall by Sharkbot. Although, bad micro on that Marine, it actually just kind of bypasses it. Mule getting dropped, Starport on the way. Factory on the way for VeTerran. And Sharkbot does beat it to the punch with the expansion, so faster Expo in a pretty good spot this game so far. That SCV is now on its way home. And then this probe comes on in once again, however it will get out once more. Sharkbot saying, how many bases do you have? Well, so far the answer is just 1. And then siege tank on the way. I was wondering if we were going to potentially see a Colossus drop from Sharkbot. This is something that it does pretty well with. And so it is getting out that robotics bay. And if it goes for that Prism Colossus drop, which I believe is currently bugged, I'm not sure if that's been corrected or not, how much damage the Colossus deal with each swipe in this AI version of the game is it's bugged, so it deals extra damage, so it makes the strategy extra strong. We do have VeTerran now moving out for a bit of a push. We'll see if it's able to get anything done with that. Marines and a tank are no joke, particularly the tank, seeing as how they require a very fine response. VeTerran is chasing this probe around, however this probe is definitely giving plenty of notice to Sharkbot that this attack is coming. It's got a Stalker on the way, the Colossus on the way. No battery at the natural, though. And it looks like it may be moving out. Is it going to get a third or just scouting out? Anyway, VeTerran's coming on in here. We'll see if it gets its tank into a good position or not. This probe is still being a nuisance. Somehow staying alive. The Hellion is out, so it looks like this other probe will perish. In come the Marines and the Hellion. There is the Prism, though, that can micro against these Marines. So Prism to save the Stalkers, a Medivac to keep the Marines strong over. There's that siege tank now going to shoot one of those Stalkers and delete it very promptly. Probes are now in trouble here. The Colossus, however, does get dropped and is being used defensively. The siege tank can potentially shoot this Colossus. However, with that Prism Micro, it may not be able to get a shot off. The Stalker goes down. Probes are dying here. However, This Colossus is going to be the defensive tool that was needed. A scan goes down to try and kill the observer. However, there's a bit too much going on for that to actually get targeted down. And that attack does get cleaned up pretty effectively by Sharkbot. We've got VeTerran getting out a Cyclone and a Viking. Probably the best thing to deal with this kind of drop. However, it's still coming on in. The Colossus, the bringer of death, is moving across the map. There's a Raven out. An auto turret will probably just be wasted as, yeah, the Colossus just gets lifted up. Cyclone is out. Can potentially lock on to the Prism, but if it locks onto the Colossus, it ain't going to get anything done. And yeah, man, that Colossus is dealing way more damage than it's supposed to. But that Viking does indeed push that Prism away. And the game will continue on. Sharkbot gets up at third. VeTerran now macroing up on 2 bases. However, its economy is still lagging behind. I think it's been a little behind since the start of that game. 3 SCVs off the line at the start of the game, not mining, I think has affected VeTerran quite a bit. So we do have Sharkbot safely getting into its double Stargate. VeTerran now throwing up turrets at its main base. It'll probably get him at its natural at some point after too. It's in a rough spot though, economically, as it got some damage done. It killed off 8 workers, but I don't think that was enough to justify the big delay that it had. Stargates are on the way for Sharkbot, so we can start making Void Rays, start making potentially carriers or Tempest down the line. VeTerran will build up to another push eventually, I imagine. Just whether Sharkbot has enough time to build up a big defensive army before that is going to be the question. Siege tank on the way. Marauder on the way. VeTerran is a bot that does like to go for its mass tanks regardless of the enemy composition. If like, oh, you got 6 carriers, but I got a bunch of siege tanks that will kill everything on the ground. And yeah, we'll see if that's going to be the case. I didn't have the music on for the start of this game. I apologize for that. I turn it off sometimes when I'm playing games and listening to other tunes. So yes, my mistake on that one. VeTerran now getting out a Banshee. There is no cloak for it, however, so it's going to be limited in its harassment potential, and it isn't quite as extreme with the Banshee harassment as Ketrock's bot, that's for sure. Worker count is 60 for Sharkbot, so at a very healthy amount. It's got a battery getting up a cannon, another cannon at that third base. VeTerran's moving out on location to secure up its third base, so macroing up itself. I am a little concerned, though, as this game progresses, that if VeTerran just sits back and lets Sharkbot hit 200 supply, that it will be very difficult. At the same time, though, VeTerran is a bot that does build Thors. I'm not sure if it makes them against Protoss, however, but Thors would actually be pretty good against Sharkbot, I think, in this case, because it does go for those air units. And high impact payload is really good against Tempest. It's good against carriers. And so I'm not sure if VeTerran will actually make those this game or not. If it does, I'll be pleasantly surprised. If not, such is life. Thors aren't conventionally good against Protoss, so I'd see why the bot author would skip it. The economy is going to be trying to keep pace, though, as Sharkbot is now moving out. Going to be getting up that 4th Nexus. And both sides are still just building up an army. And it really will be all about an engagement if there is an attack. I think things are looking pretty darn good for Sharkbot here, though. Like 4 Immortals against tanks, against a primarily tank Marauder army, with Phoenix to also lift up those tanks or Marauders. There are a couple of Ravens. But man, oh man, yeah, even the anti-air is really lacking, and seeing as how there's now Tempest on the way, it's a bit concerning. Okay, 4th Command Center on the way up for VeTerran. Hyperflight Rotors is being produced too, so those Banshees will have speed. Not sure how significant that will be. Yeah, I'm getting a little concerned for VeTerran. in this case, as still just sitting back. Eventually both bots are going to hit 200 supply and then attack, I guess. Unless we see an attack before that. So I am just going to fast forward a little bit here, as it is a lot of glorified sitting. Both bots playing defensively, which is against the grain of VeTerran. It did go for that early push, but usually I feel it does attack more. Maybe it's just the matchup, though. We do see a 5th base on the way, so VeTerran does want to get up that big economy, actually taking a base lead. Now a tied amount of bases, so it is investing in a huge economy itself. Its composition is not good, however, with there being 7 Tempest out, mass siege tanks as an answer to that, is a non-answer to that, actually. The economy is still booming for both sides. Lots of tech and everything being produced. It looks like Sharkbot is maxed out. VeTerran is a little bit behind that. More and more bases are going up on both sides. 6 bases to 5, so VeTerran is expanding faster. And yeah, Sharkbot still just sitting back. I wonder when it will decide to attack. What its conditions are, because it is maxed out, and that usually is an attack condition for some bots, but maybe there's some tech that it wants to get out beforehand. VeTerran is making a couple BCs. It's actually starting to move out, so let me just slow the roll a minute here. It's going to be a tough position to attack in for the blue Terran, though, and this is the concerning thing. Attacking into a max Protoss is incredibly difficult, even for human players. For bots, it's nigh on impossible, because trying to get the engagement that it needs is just so darn difficult. We do see Marauders simming on in, bringing down some of this static defense. There is so many siege tanks set up. However, yeah, this is not looking too hot for VeTerran, as the Tempest will just come on in and these tanks will all be finished. We could potentially see a Nexus die as a result of all these tanks. However, the tanks are just sieged up for now. They're not all in range of this Nexus. If they were all firing, it could potentially kill not one, but these 2 Nexus. In come the Immortals, though. They're going to dive on top of these tanks, and they are tank killers, that's for sure. Some of the Immortals got softened up. We maybe saw, okay, 2 of them died, but that was a big loss for VeTerran. Battle Cruiser's in the mix doing what it can. However, it doesn't have significant upgrades. Yamato Cannon is still being researched. Trades did go down on both sides, but they were not good for the Terran. Looks like this BC is going to need to teleport on out of there, and it's way too late on that teleport, so the threshold too low. We see some Stalkers harassing on the bottom left. A nice hit squad there for Sharkbot, and VeTerran is in a world of trouble, being so far down on supply. And the problem with VeTerran is that it does enter attack mode, and when it's in attack mode, it just starts attacking and does not stop, no matter how many units it lost. A Thor gets gunned down way too quickly. The upgrades are not there to let them survive for too long. And then again, it is just 7 Tempests, so that's kind of ridiculous. We see that Colossus being juggled, gonna hang out in that prism till the end of time, just getting its killer swipes off. VeTerran is holding off for now, however, there we see it moving in, bleeding off some of its units. Sharkbot's defensive style is no joke. There is a decent Viking count out now. Stalkers on the ground, though, being problematic, zoning those out. Couple siege tanks trying to hold on defensively. Sharkbot does have a few units wander forward. It is an Immortal, though, so they are getting some blood, almost killing off a tank. VeTerran still incredibly far down on supply, despite having a great economy, being able to drop lots of mules and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's just, yeah, if it keeps taking poor trades, it will not be in a good spot. All the while, Sharkbot's securing up more and more of these bases. K siege tanks getting some shots off, almost kills off a few High Templar. However, they do get out of range. The bio is stimming against this composition. However, it's just Sharkbot's composition is so darn well rounded. It's got Tempest, Warp Prisms to keep units alive, High Templar, the Mothership, the Immortals on the ground are so key at defending against these ground units. Looks like a High Templar does get picked off, and VeTerran is going up in supply, so there's potential for a fight. However, the problem is, if it just builds up a bit of supply and goes in, it will just keep on losing. There's an attack going up in the top right-hand side by a few of these units. There is a bunker with nothing in it. It's interesting that the bunker is added with nothing in it. VeTerran is trying to fight all over the map with battle cruisers hitting this lower base. Looks like it actually does escape by the skin of its teeth. That was so darn low. Psystorm hitting some of this bio as, yeah, VeTerran just trying to poke all over the place. And that is the way to beat Sharkbot historically that we've seen, is when there is multiple hit squads attacking in multiple locations, and Sharkbot has a hard time focusing on those multiple locations. But like this small harassment squad potentially denying this base is huge, and we actually see it get forced to lift off. VeTerran is going up in supply, but dealing with this big army is not an easy feat. Couple battle cruisers coming on in. They are going to have to teleport out of there, but I believe teleport is on cooldown, so that is a recipe for a dead BC. This nexus is now being established here, and VeTerran not really segmenting off what it needs to defend this location. Both sides are actually losing a good amount of resources. It's 16k to 10k, which isn't a massive difference. It's significant, not ginormous, and Sharkbot does lose its resources in other ways, losing just, I guess, odd units here and there, not necessarily its main force. And this biostimming in is actually pretty big, killing off lots of static defense. The Marauders with 2/2 upgrades can really cut through cannons. Probes are actually being pulled, which is not good. And this is where Sharkbot, or where VeTerran gets its success. It's attacking towards the bottom left with like a Thor and a BC. That Colossus still alive in the Prism. The Prism taking a bit of heat though. And so as a result, we see VeTerran gain a bit of ground, actually really evening up the resources lost momentarily. However, then in comes Sharkbot. It's like, oh, tanks for my Tempest to eat. Why, thank you. This game is a little bit closer than I thought it could be. A Tempest very injured. Is the BC going to get the kill? No, it's targeting the wrong Tempest. That's unfortunate. It's really trying, but it is targeting the wrong Tempest. This battle cruiser going to want to get on out of here. However, VeTerran, unlike a lot of the Terran bots, doesn't wait to engage with the BCs. It actually just sends them on in, even when the teleport is on cooldown. Sharkbot is up on bases, though. That's problematic. This location in the top right has been denied. That's really going to cut the lifespan of VeTerran short. VeTerran's still pushing all over the place. Odd groups of units here, there, and everywhere. This location to the top right really being neglected by VeTerran, which is unfortunate. That Prism's still alive. I believe the Colossus is still alive. Units trying to poke on in, eating some of this static defense. That is the cost accounted in. I'm trying to think of the word. Priced in. That's what I'm trying to think of. It is priced in for Sharkbot, all this static defense. It's part of the strategy. We see this Prism trying to shuttle those units around. However, they are taking a bit of heat. Battle cruiser working away on a pylon, not going to get it. Siege tanks still having some success, and we do see these siege tanks actually still being useful, even though it's a primarily air composition for the Protoss. Well, heavily air composition. 39 tanks have gone down this game, though. That is a lot of resources lost for VeTerran. This base in the top right not being established is problematic. We do see a few Marauders trying to have some success. However, High Templar with probes and a Stalker seemingly are going to shut this down. The Templar does get picked off. There is action all over this map. This one Thor is going to be in trouble, though, trying to go up that ramp. No vision. Gets picked off, so we see an attack on the right side, trying to have some success. Probes are dying, and mining is being denied. Both bots are incredibly broke, so if VeTerran can keep taking trades, there's potential for Sharkbot to start falling in supply if it, say, pulls too many probes or gets into, like, a probe death spiral. Siege tanks shooting away. However, in comes the main army for the Protoss, and this song and dance continues on as the attack gets cleaned up. It's just a matter of Sharkbot having its army in the right position. We do see one siege tank hanging out, trying to get some damage done. As, yeah, there is a little bit of a dance. Both these bots have it programmed in to have multiple armies all over the place. High Templar eating some siege tank shots. Stalkers skirmishing with Marauders and tanks. You think that the tanks and Marauders would win no problem. However, the Stalkers are putting up a bit of a fight. This Protoss army now moving in on VeTerran. This could be problematic if it loses this base, because we all know if this command center dies, that there's going to be a Nexus planted on that, like, immediately. So Sharkbot trying to break this location. However, it looks like a good chunk of its army got distracted, kept on moving, so that actually left it a little bit vulnerable. This attack on the bottom left is still trying, as this skirmish seemingly never ends. In fact, it never does. That's the beauty of bot games, as they fight all over the place all the time. One Thor, I did talk about the Thors earlier in the game, however, they're just not having the success they need, as this location now gets lifted off. Command center in the top right, still not having success. Couple Marauders going to go down, and VeTerran is going to start to run out of resources to mine. Even though Sharkbot has been trading out non-stop, it has been trading slightly better than VeTerran, and with the one extra base, that will give it the length that it needs. I will say that this game has been better for VeTerran, I think, than the previous one. I have cast a very similar game between these two, and VeTerran is doing better than that previous match. However, it's still having a really tough time. It has, like, it's got the right idea with attacking multiple locations, but Sharkbot's army is just it's the army to beat. And if it can't be beaten, Sharkbot will be very tough to beat. VeTerran has traded out non-stop as well. It is making a few too many tanks. I mean, the mass tanks, it does work, like, if it attacks in multiple locations, but then whenever there's a fight, like, it loses like 5-10 tanks just for nothing. See a couple Marauders pushing on in, messing with a Stalker, and this is where VeTerran can have its success when it does go for these attacks. This is going to pull the army of Sharkbot all the way home. There is some room for some AI derpage, we could say, as bots being pulled in multiple locations is where they can kind of fail hard. Lots of probes eating siege tank shots. However, the Protoss army is coming on in here. Couple of Tempest taking some shots along the way. However, a Thor and a Viking may actually kill off a Tempest. Yeah, Tempest does go down, and that is where there can be success. However, the Mothership kind of it's trying to save these High Templar, and it generally does, just by killing all the siege tanks. With that time warp, it is important to remember that motherships do not have default cloak anymore, as I sometimes have to remind myself. Marauders still dancing around back and forth. Both these bots are like, nope, I'm not going in. And we do see Sharkbot now looking to push on in once more. VeTerran, it's got a concave. It's still going to have a hard time dealing with all these Tempest, as it does lack the air control. Immortals are no joke. They cut through tanks, they cut through Marauders, and they probably have been the clutch thing here. I mean, how many Immortals have we seen died? 16. But when you compare that to 64 tanks and 64 Marauders, that is quite a bit. This stalemate has yet to be broken down here, and Sharkbot is fine with that. It's fine playing this game out, as we see the bases are starting to mine on out. VeTerran having a really rough go of it. It's kept the resources lost within the acceptable realm. Just, it's never been quite enough. We see that Prism microing as well as it can. The tanks are no joke, but then at the end of the day, there is Tempest and a Mothership in the sky, and the anti-air is like 1 BC and 1 Thor right now. So VeTerran needs to be attacking more to make this strategy work, and it just goes to show that there is some selection bias in these games. I want to preface, as a YouTuber, I click on the ones that are a nice length to commentate. The 10-minute games, which are probably just like a push that either wins or loses, is not as exciting to cast, so that's probably where VeTerran gets most of its wins against Sharkbot. So it's no surprise that Sharkbot wins these games, even though it's longer on the ladder. This is what Sharkbot is designed to do, so we do see a big attack coming on in. This unkillable Protoss army looking mighty good. VeTerran, darn exciting to watch as always, making lots of SCVs. Trading out, however, it can. We do see Sharkbot even starting to steal this Nexus, though. And I do wonder if VeTerran had kept this base going, maybe this fight, or if it had secured this base and not given it up, maybe it would have won this game. It does have an impressive late game, even though it seems to lack a lot of strategy. Like, it's amazing how far it can get with building just tanks and marauders and attacking. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think this one is going to be over. VeTerran is completely out of gas, so that means it cannot really make anything. And seeing as how it seems to be against building Marines this game, even though it's got enough money to make quite a few, that is going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far in this video and you're not subscribed, make sure to go ahead, subscribe to the channel. That button is down there somewhere. Leave a comment down below and a like on this video if you do enjoy these. And if you do want to support the channel, we are 1 member away from hitting our 10-member goal, so you can check out the YouTube membership program, as that is the best way to support the channel. Looks like that prism still staying alive, almost goes down to a turret in the end there. However, it did do a good job shuttling those units. At some point the Colossus died, but the prism control is something to really enjoy as far as Sharkbot's concerned. And Sharkbot being so turtly is like, I don't need to attack yet, I'm just gonna take these bases. Who knows if I can win the game yet, as it is the turtle bot. I'll probably cast a Xenobot or a couple of Xena games for the next video. I know someone requested those in the comments down below, so I think I can oblige by that. Couple of tanks holding the line for now. Those poor stalkers getting deleted in rapid succession. Boom, boom. +3 tanks are no joke. Unfortunately, there's the air army. How many cannons are on the map? 71 cannons, 52 shield batteries. And that is going to be that. GG. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in.